Hi, good morning to you. Looks like the chat is saying no sound on your end.
Oh,
Hope
you forget to click one button. One button. All right. Well, Snoopy already heard my intro, but you guys did not. We have such a treat for you. One button we missed, chat. Thank you so much for the help. We have a great series hosting the Into the Alpha X Super Series between Dark and INnoVation. My name is Reshi. I'm so glad that you guys could join us. I'm joined by my co-caster, Snoopy. Hello once again, Snoopy.
hello once again. I hope you guys are having a great morning or afternoon or evening wherever you are.
Oh, intro ruined? No. Intro just modified a little bit to keep you on your toes. It's early here in the United States, so I'm still working through my coffee. I know Snoopy, you're working through your coffee too, and we are set and excited for this very exciting show match between Dark and INnoVation. Two relatively, I wouldn't call these household names, Snoopy. I don't even know if I've ever heard of these players before. What about you?
Yeah, I don't recall them ever seeing them play.
Of course, chat. We are only kidding. Dark and INnoVation, two of the staples of the GSL scene currently in not only in 2020, but throughout many years of StarCraft 2 play. Both of these players still remaining very relevant in the scene all the way to today, and actually even just as recent as yesterday with INnoVation playing in the TSL 5 Grand Finals. So just in case we've got people here that are not interested in spoilers, I'll go ahead and shelf that for later, but if you are interested, please do check that out after this event. But we do have a treat for you today. So I'm gonna walk you through our layout here. If this is your first time to an Alpha X show match, welcome. We're so happy that you could be here. This is gonna be a best of 9 show match between these two players. So we will be exhausting a good chunk of the map pool. It looks like we will be using the new season map pool, so that will be very exciting. So you will see some familiar maps. You will see a lot of brand new maps, so not only new to us, but probably a little bit new to our players as well. First to 5 is going to win the lion's share of our prize money for today, which has been gracefully raised by our Matcherino page. Exclamation point Matcherino in the chat will give you the opportunity to take a look at that Matcherino. We are pleased and delighted to say that we already have all of our codes taken care of. So thank you so much for helping out with that. Here's where you can continue to help though. These replay packs that will be available after today's event that you're gonna watch here live. Let's say you're a big Dark fan and you're like, oh, in game 3, he did this really awesome build and I'm super excited to learn more about it. Well, for the low price of $3, you can get the entire replay pack to have. It's yours to keep, yours to use however you want. How would you use that replay pack, Snoopy?
Oh man, I would just study the heck out of it, learn their build orders, maybe even a strategy that I'm having trouble with. I might go ahead and just take a rewatch and see how the other opponent deals with it. There's a lot of value to it, to getting the pro players replays.
Yeah, and I mean, I would value so much of the opportunity of learning how Dark plays, and even just learning against an amazing Terran player like INnoVation, being able to see some of those timings. Lots of possibilities there. So check out that Matcherino page, $3, and that replay pack is yours. After the event, of course. We can't give you a replay pack right now because nothing's happened. Well, we could. I could give you a folder that just says a most amazing replays ever, and you open it and it's just nothing. Or it'll be just like a picture of my face just like cheesing, and Snoopy and I would just like lean together, big old smile. So might not be what you're looking for, but we would still appreciate the $3 contribution. Of course, you can always go above and beyond on those Matcherino codes. If you ever want to kick in your own amount, you're always welcome to do so. We love putting on these kinds of events, and it is all in part because of the support from the community. So we're so glad that you're here. We're just getting ready for game number 1 here. It's going to be on Eternal Empire. We're going to start with a little bit of familiarity. And this is a great opportunity. Let your friends know. This is a big event. Dark does not do outside events very often. So let's take advantage of the one that we have. Let's get a great audience and have a great show, so that way we can encourage him to continue being a part of Alpha X series in the future. But enough about that. Let's talk a little bit about our matchup here. Snoopy, talk to me about Dark versus INnoVation. What would be your take on the strengths and weaknesses of these two players going into today's show match?
Yeah, I mean, both players, I feel like they kind of equally are good during the again the early, mid, and late game. I don't see them having any weaknesses throughout the entirety of the game. Like compared to like say Sue versus Dark, right? You see Sue, he's pretty good in the early game, mid game, but not quite in the late game. You can't really say that about Dark. He's a definitely a beast, especially since in last year where he had a one heck of a year, able to win the WCS Global Finals. And but then on innovation, on the other hand, he's been around. He's been a pro for a long, long time. Been on the top of the Terran. I would say in the Terran rankings throughout the years, he's been up there. So definitely can't underestimate him. And then especially since you as well, you mentioned it earlier, innovation having some nice high finishes in recent tournaments. So look to for him to be in a strong, really strong state of mind and also state of play.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about like the strength of these two players out on Aligulac right now. I mean, we're looking at the number 2 Zerg versus the number 1 Terran, and don't let Dark's number 2 position like throw you off here. I mean, he's falling in number 2 to, well, okay, this is another name I don't recognize. Saral. I don't think I've ever seen that name before. Saral. Well, and that's not a Korean flag. Where's that? Oh, okay. Cyril. So yeah, but innovation sitting number 2 all time for players right now, and Dark sitting number 4. So I mean, we are talking about some of like the cream of the crop of the StarCraft 2 scene at this point. So both players already have qualified for GSL Season 2. I don't believe that is a spoiler in any stretch of the imagination. So, I mean, we are going to be seeing not only some really crisp play, but we're also going to start seeing the way the meta is going to start shifting on the new map pool. It seems like the new maps are going, well, I think it's interesting because I've taken a look at the map pool and I've sit and listened to a lot of the big names talk, and maybe you have some feedback on this as well, Snoopy. I feel like the new maps are going to lean a little bit on the Zerg favor. I feel like the balance in terms of the patch changes are going to lean a little bit more Protoss Terran, but then I think the maps will just naturally favor Zerg players a little bit, which I think could be an interesting balancing act as we go into the next season. Do you have any input or feedback on the new maps as you see them?
Well, actually, to be honest, I haven't actually quite seen the new maps yet, but I'm excited to see it. We have played on this current map pool for quite some times. I feel like it's kind of getting a little bit, kind of stale. So, very excited to see and check out the new maps. And once the players do actually play on the new maps, I'm interested to see, your insight on kind of the pros and cons for each race.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it'll be interesting. I think we're all going to learn a lot today. So, like I said, great opportunity. Let your friends know. Let your community know. Hop on your Discords and get people into this channel. Twitch.tv/AlphaXSC2 as we fire up game number 1 here between Dark and INnoVation. This will be a series we'll talk about for quite some time, I'm sure. We'll get some great content coming out of it. And you can hear the sound. We are jumping in. We're going to be headed to Eternal Empire. We're going to start with just a little bit of familiarity in the map pool here. So very, very excited. Snoopy, let's put some predictions down while we load up game number 1. What is your predicted winner and game count?
Oh man, that is quite tough. Well, actually, before I even state my prediction, there's someone in the chat, Farron, who actually used some channel points to redeem a highlighted message saying he's predicting a 5-3 victory for INnoVation. So you know what? I'm just gonna go with my buddy here, Farron, and gonna say 5-3 INnoVation.
All right. As a Zerg player, I have to lean in the realm of Dark. I think it's going to be 5-4. I think we're going to need all 9 games. But we need to get this game started, starting in the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire. Our blue Terran playing for KaiZ Gaming. Give it up for INnoVation.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map, he's the red Zerg player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Dark.
And already, Snoopy, already, we are just going here. INnoVation not wasting any time here. He is just going to commit to a 2 racks at this point. So not as big of a commitment on the backside, but I mean, Dark's not going to be any stranger to this type of play. He's already got the Overlord headed in the right direction, and I mean, he's going to scout this right away, Snoopy.
Oh no, just a little bit more. He would have seen that, but he does not quite see it yet. I mean, the early SCV might be an indication of a proxy barracks, but it might just be a scout. Oh, actually, no, he knows it. He's pulling his drones already, preparing for that bunker. He does see the second SCV building a bunker there. Let's see if he can get a surround and kill this off, but I don't think 5 drones is quite enough.
Well, it's definitely not enough when you've got that bunker pinned up against the destructible rocks here, and some really good RNG on the build cycle for that SCV will kind of protect it here for a moment. A couple of Marines will be able to zone this down. 1 drone already falling, but Zerglings are already out onto the map. So Dark has a way to get back into this. That first bunker is actually rather far back, so that bunker won't be as effective. It's the second bunker going down that will need to complete here for INnoVation if he wants to anchor this down into place. Oh, I mean, this is getting a little dicey. The Spine Crawler's already on the way down here, Snoopy.
Oh yeah, the Queen blocking it just a little bit, but it does finally root itself down. And, is it in range though? I think it's just barely out of range.
Ooh, and he does pick off that Overlord. The Overlord not able to anchor itself on the high ground. So Dark running into a bit of a supply block here. He's not going to be able to flood Lings against this like he needs to. More Marines are on the way as well. That second bunker still available to help anchor this down. And now everything gets pulled. Drones getting pulled off of the line here. 1 full bunker is going to be able to deal a lot of damage here. But I just don't know if he's got the surface area to get this done. It's going to be really close.
Oh man, I think he just barely might get it, but the hatchery's just really low in life. It's down in the red. Oh, nice transfuse on that Spine Crawler. It does save it and prolongs it, but there are just too many Marines here, and I think it will finally take down that second hatchery.
Oh, and with that second hatchery going down, a lot of Dark's energy in this match is starting to wane. Dark's going to give it one last go here. Big flood of Lings onto this bunker. The bunker's going to go down. Dark is not going to be able to hold that. And GG is called. INnoVation taking game number 1 in a very quick, convincing fashion.
Yep, and INnoVation showing you how to double racks there on that map, and using that little rock, because I really like that, because it does, decrease the surface area in which the drones and the lanes can get surround on the bunker. So I think I love that change, because you see a lot of Terran players actually move it closer to the hatchery, but INnoVation changing it up, actually moving it towards the rock a little bit further, but a bit more safer.
Oh, Snoopy, I have to tell you something. The win rate of 2 racks, 3 racks in TVZ is just so good. I just never see this lose. I just never see this lose.
Maybe that's the reason why Maru always does it so frequently.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we've got books being written in the in-game chat here. So I think we might be in for a spicy series here. I'm actually really excited about that. But no, yeah, just very, very strong positioning there. I think absolutely INnoVation's using the landscape to his advantage and getting a really, really good draw on the SEV build RNG to kind of wedge himself back into that corner. So very, very good situation there. as we get set up into game number 2. Unfortunately, I can't read Korean, so I can't see the discussion that is being had here. But we get out of this game, and I wish I could show you effectively, but our Korean caster, I mean, just literally drops a book into the in-game chat. So I imagine there is a discussion about something related to the game. It will forever be a mystery, not only to you, but to me as well. So, Snoopy, I don't know. Can you read Korean?
Absolutely not. I cannot. I wish I could, but I mean, it would make it easier to read the chat as well as understand all the Korean dramas out there.
Oh, I think we're on the cusp of something here, Snoopy. I think we could create our own soap opera just based off of StarCraft 2 players.
Ooh.
I think we're on to something, but I'm gonna make sure, like, on this stream, like, this is my idea, chat. Don't you dare take it. Snoopy and I are gonna make our fortunes off of this, and we're gonna share, but we're gonna share it in the form of quality entertainment for you. So we are getting into game number 2. It's gonna be jumping on to Everdream. We're gonna stay in the consistent map pool, and that actually doesn't surprise me. I could see us for the first 3 games staying on our 3 maps that are going to stay in the pool: Everdream, Eternal Empire, and Golden Wall, before we start jumping into our new maps as well. What do you think, Snoopy? Do you think we're going to see another proxy from INnoVation here in game 2?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, because that double Rex proxy turned out really well that last game. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So I could definitely see INnoVation pulling it this game, as well as all the other future games that we have upon us.
Absolutely, and we're gonna hop on in to Everdream here for map number 2, spawning in the bottom left of Everdream, our red Zerg player. Oh, shoot. I have completely spaced Dark's team name. No, it's Dragon. It's Dragon Phoenix Gaming. I was right. I got nervous. Give it up for Dark. Oh, I got so nervous.
Well, to be fair, I mean, there are so many team names, it's hard to remember. But anyhow, here in the top right, you have the blue Terran player from Kaizi Gaming. It is INnoVation.
Oh man, it's just, you had one of those moments where, like, I knew it in my head, but you don't want to confidently say it, right? Because, like, if you're wrong, then you're just, like, really wrong, and everyone goes, does he even know the players that are playing? Who is this guy?
Oh man, I've been there. I mean, I think a lot of cast has been there. I mean, you introduce so many players, and there's so many player movements, hopping on from team to team, that it kind of gets confusing at times. You don't remember all the time. So I think people will understand.
Oh, well, Snoopy, I don't know if you've ever used the internet before, but the internet's sometimes not very kind. Sometimes people get all excited because that guy made a mistake. I'm going to open Reddit. I'm going to go to the StarCraft subreddit. And I can't believe he made a mistake. How dare he? So
yeah, for sure.
But now, a little bit of interesting information here. Dark has opened pool first. Now, this isn't a super aggressive pool. Now, don't panic, Snoopy. We see 6 slings moving out across the map, but this is just going to be dedicated pressure to make sure that he can get his natural down on top of it. So while I don't think this is going to be anything super crazy, I do think it is interesting. Dark has moved into at least a little bit more of an aggressive pose against an INnoVation that has not proxied in this game. So Dark is going to wiggle these lings back behind the third. And I think this is just going to transition into a normal game.
Yeah, actually, smartly, INnoVation has kept his Reaper back home, because that strategy is so common these days that it's kind of better to keep it at home instead of going across the map. But here we go. Looks like Dark is going to finally review these lanes. We'll get a Marine. Will he get a second Marine? Looks like he will, but that Reaper should be alive. That command center also does go up and starts morphing into orbital command.
Well, and actually, I think an interesting point to note here is only 2 Lings have been killed. I mean, the Micro against the Reaper was insanely strong for Dark. The Marines just not unable to stutter step backwards without speed and stim. So these Zerglings are going to get a lot of damage done and actually force a couple of kills on the lower base. And behind that, Dark's able to get his 3rd base down. Not a bad start for our Korean Zerg player here, trying to, maybe not getting revenge, Snoopy, but at least saying, I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not going to let you do 2 racks, 3 racks every single game. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about opening up with an early pool. You can defend against those proxy cheeses a lot easier and a lot better. So I think you would like to, or you could expect to see Dark going for that early pool throughout this whole series, because INnoVation is one of those players that actually frequently goes for the proxy racks.
Well, and this is very interesting here. This is a very quick 3rd CC, and it's buried all the way up in the main base. The Viking is going to clear away what little vision Dark has left on the map, but he's not going to be able to see this for quite some time. Meanwhile, behind this is going to be a really interesting dedicated push here. He's going for concussive shell, Marines, and Hellions. I mean, this is going to be really strong against a Ling Queen composition, and that's exactly where Dark's at right now. He is going to go into a lair, which most likely is going to take him into Mutalisks and Aspire Tech, but I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be a timing that he wants here. I mean, concussive shell is going to get taken care of here in just a moment. And with the production of Marauders coming out very, very quickly, I mean, this is going to hit long before Mutas ever hit the field.
Yeah, and that Link does scout the Hellions, the 4 Hellions, but does not scout the Marauders, as well as the 4 Hellions onto the other side of the map, on the right side, that's joining forces. So here we have it, 8 Hellbats morphing in, along with 2 Marauders. Dark finally gets a scout of this. But he's actually going across the map. He's going to actually rely on...
Is he just going to pick off the Marauders? Oh, that takes out so much of the push. Oh, INnoVation must not have been paying attention here. All of these Lings, I think, drew his attention back to his side of the map, and Dark just completely takes all the teeth out of this push.
Oh, man, that's a momentum killer right there. You definitely want the Marauders to tank some of the damage by the Queens. But here we only have Hellions / Hellbats for INnoVation, so not a lot of potential here. I mean, he could still go dive in and get a good amount of drones, but there's so many Queens already.
Oh, no, I absolutely agree with you, but I think the zoning potential is actually so much stronger here for Dark. He is going to lose some drones off of the back of this, and I think, all things considered, I think it's just a necessary loss at this point. But even mitigates that. Only 2 drones lost off of that push. Dark with an amazing hold, and these Mutas are going to be rather uncontested. I mean, Stimpack is just only now finishing. There really isn't a whole lot of Marine production behind this. He's only got 2 Marines. He can stim the heck out of those 2 Marines, but that is not going to deal with 8 Mutalisks.
Yeah, those Marines got to turn Super Saiyan mode in order to defend. And all of these Lings, he's going to actually take some of these Marines out. So definitely no Marines for those Mutalisks. And GG, INnoVation just going to quickly tap out.
Oh, Snoopy, I think we are in for one heck of a series. I mean, I just was absolutely stunned with the play on that. A very, very good read by Dark. Unfortunately for INnoVation, I mean, I think his timing was great. I think it was just that batch of Lings that drew his attention away for half a second. That medevac flies a little bit too far forward. Queens pick it off, and suddenly you're now sitting there going like, well, what do I do? I don't have the thing that will stop the Queens from being able to engage me. Like, I don't know what happens now. So a little bit of a surprising misplay there, but these players are human. I mean, how many times have we done that on the ladder, Snoopy?
Wait, what? INnoVation's a human? I don't think so.
Oh, wait. So. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that INnoVation is actually just the most advanced AI that we have in the StarCraft 2 scene. In fact, I think in a different day, his name was Alpha Star. I don't know if that's a username that anyone recognizes.
Well, I've seen or heard people refer to him as the Machine, so I mean, he's definitely definitely machine-like. So I mean, and also dark as well. But yeah, StarCraft is that's the unforgiving part about StarCraft, right? It's not the game about minutes or even seconds. Sometimes it comes down to milliseconds, and that little bit of attention thrown away by innovation just cost him that big attack move. And yeah, well done by Dark. Innovation got the first game really quickly, and here in the second game, Dark also got a relatively quick win as well.
Folks, we're going to get ready for game number 3 here, but we would be remiss to not talk about some of our great sponsors that help us fund and put these events on, like G Fuel. You know G Fuel is the official drink of esports, and right now they're inviting you to take a trip down flavor memory lane with their new G Fuel bubblegum flavor. It's their newest mind-blowing concoction made with zero sugar and packed with antioxidants and vitamins. Be transported back in time with this classic taste of childhood while getting the energy and focus you've come to expect from G Fuel products. Check out their sponsor quests on our event page for more info on how you can get your hands on G Fuel's nostalgic takes on a time-tested favorite. And we want to thank G Fuel for helping us put on events like this. It's so important to keep supporting esports and StarCraft 2 gaming in 2020, and we're so grateful to work with them as we get set into game number 3. We're going to be heading to a new map. We're headed to Submarine. I love the aquatic themed maps that get introduced into the pool. I love the tile set. I just think it's very easy on the eyes. It's fun and interesting to look at. What are your thoughts on Submarine here? What are your initial like taking a peek at it here, Snoopy? What do you think?
Well, I definitely like that. It's not as dark as we've seen of maps before previously. I like that it's a bit lighter. I always love maps that are a bit more light, and also love maps that have a theme to it. I mean, themes like such as a snow map or a desert map. You know, this one is the aquatic map, which I definitely love.
Abyssal Reef still goes down in my heart as like one of my favorite maps. Not as a Zerg player, but just as an aesthetic person. But we need to get our players introduced here, spawning in the top left-hand corner of one of our new maps in the upcoming map pool, Submarine, playing for Kai Z Gaming, our Blue Terran. Give it up for INnoVation.
And here, spawning at the bottom right corner of the map, is the red Zerg player. From Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Dark.
Now, I don't know if it's just my screen. I just recently gotten a new monitor, so some of like the colors are a little bit different, but like this red is just like super vibrant on this map, and I'm still trying to determine if that's just the new map or my monitor or maybe my eyes. Maybe like I'm seeing the color red for the first time in my life. It's entirely possible.
Yeah, now that you speak of it, it is quite red. Maybe it's the contrast settings or something. You know, like in the options, there's like a contrast setting that you can set to.
Yeah,
like how red.
just, like take a look at like all of these colors here. I mean, we've got like the pearl blue, we've got the red and blue of our players, this really nice green algae. I just think this is really, it's just very nice, and I actually like the color contrast on the high ground versus the low ground a little bit. Obviously, the ramps are a little not like completely set, because like the bottom of that ramp is low ground, but it's still green. But I just think it's a nice little touch on these map creators, and they do just such a fantastic job.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, we do have a thank you shout out. Thank you to Enki for the $20 contribution to the Maturino page. He's actually one of our Spanish casters, so appreciate the support and thank you, Enki.
Vamos amigo. We're so grateful to have so many partners that cast in different languages. If for some reason English is not your preferred language and you speak either German, Spanish, or Korean, you can catch one of our partner casts casting in different languages here. But we better talk about this game a little bit here, Snoopy. We've already got some action. We've got a Roach Warren down on Dark's side of the map. It's a quick Roach Warren, and Dark actually able to slow down the command center on the low ground here for INnoVation. Some really good use out of his first couple of lings.
Yeah. Now, the link's actually gonna snipe this SCV. That actually just delays the command center from being made. Now, if the Roaches actually comes on here, actually no, he's gonna send the second SCV. I think he would just barely have it up in time. So nice little win there by INnoVation, getting that command center up and running, able to morph that into an orbital. But now it's time for Dark to put on the pressure here. He's got some Ravagers morphing in, but there is a bunker on the high ground.
Yeah, that bunker is a little bit out of position, not able to defend the right-hand side. So both of the add-ons are in a little bit of danger here. That first supply depot does go down. That will be difficult for INnoVation to try and close up once again, but there isn't really a Ling Flood behind this. It's just going to be the Roaches and Ravagers that are sitting here right now. As a response, Cyclone does go down. The Ravagers are going to help with being able to try and zone that out, but an immediate lock-on onto the Overlord is going to eliminate Dark's high ground vision, and that's going to effectively slow this down, at least until the second Overlord gets here. There's not a whole lot that INnoVation can do. He's going to be able to shove this off, but it's still a rather weak push, all things considered.
Yeah, his main punching power is that Cyclone, so he's got to wait for the Banshee and maybe even possibly a bit more Marines to start defending it. But it looks like, actually Dark is going to retreat. Doesn't want to lose his entire Roach army. He's going to go ahead and retreat, grab a third base, and just hit the macro button.
Yeah, and he absolutely can do this. I mean, he's done the damage that he went there to seek. This wasn't an all-in build. He just wanted to get, again, some good pressure. I think this is Dark playing in response to INnoVation showing in game number 1. Is like, I'm not afraid to 2-racks you. I'll 3-racks you if I need to, but it's going to force you to be more aggressive here at the get-go. And actually, this Banshee just misses the vision on those Roaches and Ravagers. That would have just absolutely murdered this portion of his army. But anyways, to my point, INnoVation is going to keep forcing Dark into these slightly less economic focused openings, and he just needs to try and find a way to capitalize on that. And Dark's actually going to wind this back up once again and hit hard. There really isn't a whole lot of ground army here, and that's a lot of Lings flooding across the map. The wall has gone down. These Lings are going to be able to funnel on in. There's really not a wall at the top of the ramp. INnoVation has to hold on this ramp, and Lings wiggle their way in. That Cyclone is under fire. The Cyclone is going to go down, and it's just more and more Lings coming in behind.
Yeah, there is a Banshee there, but all these Lings and Roaches can do so much damage before those Lings, or before that Banshee can clean up the rest of the ground units. And here we go, 16 SCVs and counting going down. And I don't know if INnoVation can hold on from this.
Oh, it's he almost got the bile of his lifetime with that Ravager. So many of these SCVs are going to fall. One of the gases does get picked off as well. And I mean, this is going to be devastating damage here for INnoVation. Dark just continuing to flood. Only now does he take some time to macro behind this, but I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think INnoVation can recover.
Yeah, he's down to 13 workers to the 41 workers of Dark. And I mean, Banshees are good, but they're not that good. And more Lings flooding in, and GG, INnoVation taps out.
He taps out unwillingly. I think he was expecting at some point that Dark would take the opportunity to like, okay, all right, I've done enough damage to you. Let's try and play a normal game with you insanely behind. And that last flood of Lings, I mean, INnoVation just like, huh? Okay. So, yeah, GG is called, though, still. Two very passionate players. Don't misconstrue their adrenaline and energy for saltiness at this point. These two players have spent a lot of time playing each other. We are going to hop into yet another new map. I mean, chat, at this point, unless we go to a game number 8, we're going to be encountering mostly new maps. The Golden Wall is the only one left in the cycle. And actually, I saw somebody ask at a different point if this is being played on the new patch. It is not. This is still old patch. But the players from here on out, starting Wednesday, are going to be playing on new maps. So we figured, why not? Why not give them the opportunity to start getting some practice on these new maps? So, old patch, new maps. Just wanted to make sure that we get that clear here as we get set and ready for game number 4. It's going to be on Death Aura. Now, Talk
Ooh.
to me here, Snoopy. Death Aura's got those, not those inhibitor zones, but actually acceleration zones in the center of the map. We'll have to take a peek at them in a moment, but talk to me. How do you feel about introducing some more of the map components like that into this series?
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting because throughout the history of StarCraft, we never seen or I guess a zone where it will speed things up at. You've seen inhibitor zone where it actually slow things down. So this is the first time I'm going to see something that speed things up. That's going to be definitely interesting. I want to see how that's going to be utilized by each of these players. I mean, will faster units go faster? Will slower units go faster? I mean, everything's going faster. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see that.
And I'm very excited to see how this map plays out. We'll talk a little bit more about it in just a moment. Spawning in the bottom right of Death Aura, our red Zerg player playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Up 2-1 in the series. Give it up for Dark.
Here, spawning at the top left corner of the map, it is the blue Terran player looking to tie up the series. Can he do it? It is INnoVation.
Yeah, okay, so Dark continuing now. Dark has now seen this and gone, okay, this isn't broken. Why am I going to try and fix it? And he's going to continue opening up pool first, but I think that can be very specific to this map because all things considered, this is not a super large map. This is probably going to replace Zen as the small map in the pool, and it's created even just a little bit smaller by these acceleration zones. So as Snoopy already talked about, the inhibitor zones did exactly the opposite. If you entered that field, your movement speed would be dramatically decreased. However, as you can see right there, look how fast that Overlord moves. I mean, that's crazy. And we can see a little bit of it right here with the SCV. Sonic the Hedgehog playing on INnoVation's team as an SEV right now, but it dramatically cuts down the distance that units will, or the not distance, excuse me, the time that units will need to take to get across the map. So I think that Ling all-ins will be very popular on this map. I think, I mean, even cannon rushes for a Protoss player or really quick proxies will be valuable just because of the amount of time that is taken off of the top of getting across the map.
Yeah, by the way, a side note, I'm not sure if you played the Pokemon game when you were little on the Game Boy, but during the Pokemon game, there's these arrows or these areas where you can like go through and it kind of speeds your character up. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit, which is pretty funny.
Okay,
But
okay.
anyhow, we do see that the Link is about to finish. We do see INnoVation going for the same kind of factory reactor build. So we'll see if he does go for the same. Oh, actually, that dot. There's a Link's gonna block that factory from knocking down.
Oh, Dark's styling right now. Going, I know exactly how you like to play the game. So getting a little bit of a cheeky block on INnoVation. This isn't going to be anything too devastating, but at this point, it's mind games, right, Snoopy?
Yeah, pretty much. And, so far, Dark has been winning it, but INnoVation has a chance to still top the series. Again, this is a best of 9, so it's not quite over yet. There's plenty of opportunity for INnoVation to come back and take the lead. But here we go. The Hellions are starting to be produced, but Dark has already scouted this and should have ample time to prepare.
Yeah, somebody in the chat actually mentioned that those fields should look like rainbows like they do in Mario Kart. Yeah, and I feel like Nintendo would just like, I don't even think they would send a letter. I think they would just like rehire Reggie Fils-Aimé again, and he would just
Yeah.
like host his own E3 event where he's just like, Blizzard, you have stolen our properties. Prepare to die. The Reginator slowly slowly just unfurls from his body. Okay. I mean, Reggie's busy living his second life here as a GameStop executive, so no problem in that area. I mean, this is gonna kind of transition into a non-cheeky game here. It is going to be yet another timing attack here for INnoVation. INnoVation realized the. Oh my god, look how fast they go. Oh, here we go. Just wait.
Oh, man.
Okay. Sorry. I mean, I just got excited there. But INnoVation going to go for that concussive shell marauder timing once again. He really believes in the build. He just knows that he goofed it up in game number 2. So he's going to give it yet another try in map number 4.
Oh man, it's kind of funny to see the Hellions keep going dangling around. Oh, here we go. We see the Roach get the speed there.
Everything just goes so fast. I love it. Oh, okay. So, yep. It looks like Dark's actually just gonna bring the pain to INnoVation's side of the map. Very interesting choice here. A couple of Hellions going to confirm that this is in fact happening, but INnoVation is not going to need to scout that. He's just going to try and get as much damage done as possible. As the Lings have already arrived, that third base is an important part of the wall, and INnoVation does not want to lose this. He's going to have to lift this at some point, and that's going to bring the entire fight into INnoVation's natural.
Yeah, and oh my god, he needs to save that CC. Just barely lifting it off. We'll be able to repair that, but all the wall has gone down. The Lings get on top of the SAVs. Still a bunch of Ravagers left, but the bunker are still holding, but it does go down to the corrosive bow. Now, one thing about this, the acceleration zone is that aggressive pushes like these work out really well. More Lings flooding in. There's still one bunker left. One tank is about to pop out. Will it help though? I think INnoVation will just barely hold this, but 16 SCVs going down, Yoshi.
Oh, I mean, this is crazy damage that's happening here right now. I don't think INnoVation expected this much damage to happen off of Dark's push, but I think he just waited a little bit too long. I don't know. He was trying to get the tank out on the high ground, and the tank does get 8 kills. The Banshee able to also clean this up as well, but I mean, it's so much damage down onto the orbital command. It's going to take some time before that's going to be able to land onto the third. But it comes off of the heels of so many worker kills. I mean, look at the disparity here. 53 to 30 workers at this point. I mean, that's just a lot of damage that INnoVation it does not have the resources to deal with right now.
Yeah, and if you look at the income graph, it's like all red for Dark. Now INnoVation does save the third CC, which means that he can replenish those SCVs a bit better. There are the emules as well, so maybe, just maybe, INnoVation can crawl himself back into the game. But he's gonna have to rely on these Banshees in this main base of Dark to try to come back in terms of the economic advantage that Dark already has.
I think the difficult part here for INnoVation is going to be trying to get that third base down successfully. I mean, he just doesn't have the resources to be able to anchor down. Oh, actually got a little bit of a push here. The Banshee trying to get some kills here. 6 drones actually end up going down. That's a nice little trade. It's not enough to justify all of the damage to the natural, but it's a start. But back to my point, he just has so limited resources right now. These bases are spread out far enough that it's going to be difficult to anchor down. 3 tanks on this little ledge will be a start, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now, Snoopy. I still think INnoVation's in a really rough position as Dark is able to just kind of run rampant here with his economy. He's got 1-1 on the way, speed roaches incoming. These Lings are going to try and harass that third base a little bit more. Going to get shut down by those tanks, but I think a nice little double push here for Dark in a couple of minutes will be very, very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and something about this map is that there are 3 kind of entrances to the tank army. So you see the one that goes through the dirt base, then the one that goes up to the stairwell in the middle, and then the one in the left side. There's that big opening. So if Dark decides to actually split his army into 3 army control groups and just go in on top of the marine and tanks, he could definitely mitigate some of the splash damage of those tanks. So we'll see if Dark decides to do that later in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. INnoVation's going to do his part. He is going to try and make a wall here where the Lings are naturally going to try and flood on in. So he's going to eliminate one of those engagement points, but yeah, again, to your point, there's just so many entrances available for Dark. INnoVation just has so much ground he has to try and cover. but I don't think it's even going to make that big of an impact here. He's got tons and tons of Ravagers coming in. It's going to be Bile City, Dark doing the, I mean, he's doing the build that most Zerg players learn when they're in Platinum League. Try and max out on roaches before the 10-minute mark, and Dark's just going to push across the map here. Oh, INnoVation was going to try and move out. This is going to be something he probably regrets.
Oh yeah, and 1-1 just finishes for Dark, so it's a really great timing for this push. And here we go. Looks like the roaches will get on top of the Marines. Corrosive Biles takes one of the tanks, but there are still a lot of tanks remaining though, and all the links have been evaporated. So not quite the attack that Dark wanted. I think it could have gone better, a bit better. So nice hold there by our Terran, our blue Terran.
Well, I'm actually really surprised. I mean, he engaged on the right-hand side with that Roach Ravager army, and then he just kind of stuffed the Lings back in the right corner. I mean, had those Lings swung around the left and gotten on top of those tanks, I think that fight goes completely differently. But Dark with a little bit of a misengagement, and somehow it just it doesn't overly impact the game. Still 170 to 143. INnoVation needs another fight to go that way if he wants to really kind of claw back into this game. And I see somebody in the chat asking what these zones do. These are actually acceleration zones. As you can see, anything that moves inside of that zone is going to move a lot faster, but we do have a big drop coming in here for INnoVation. Dark actually caught out onto the map, a little bit of a misposition here, and INnoVation's going to try and strike on both sides, but Dark's going to be much more prepared for the split push than he was for the initial drop.
Yeah. Oh man, these Marines are getting in the main base are getting so much value. Cleaning all these Lings might get the lair, but I think there's just too much stuff here for Dark. He should be able to finally clean it up. Yep, he does finally clean it up. As well as the left-hand side, there's still a few Marines left. It looks like Dark should be able to... Oh, actually, does he have Roach speed? It doesn't look like he has Roach speed there.
Yep, he absolutely does have Roach speed.
Okay, wow. They did, for some reason, they kind of look like they move a bit slower than usual, but anyhow, Dark finally stabilizes. Takes a bit of damage, but he's still on 74 workers, so nice cleanup or nice defense there by Dark, and he should be starting to continue to spread those creep tumors. Look at the creep tumor already that's been placed for Dark. It's spreading like wildfire across all sides of the map, which I really, really like.
Yeah, Dark actually, right before that engagement began, did a nice job of pulling most of the workers out of his main, so he didn't lose that much in the Doom drop into the main. I think he only lost 4 workers according to GameHeart, so mitigated a lot of damage here. But INnoVation is going to wind up for a really, really big push here. A couple of drops already queued up for INnoVation. He's going to try and strike in multiple places. But I think Dark's got, to what you just said, he's got the creep spread. He has what he needs to get set up here. And INnoVation is going to time everything on being maxed out. But Dark has to be careful. It's going to be this part of the push that he's absolutely got to keep an eye on. That third base, excuse me, still rather exposed, but cleans up a bit of the drop here in the main and is going to set himself up for a good engagement against this portion of his army.
Yeah, now you should wait for 3-3 to finish before engaging, and those tanks are actually quite clumped up, so these corrosive biles can do a lot of damage, but INnoVation, I think he definitely want to wait for that 3-3 upgrade to finish. It makes his bile army so much stronger, especially since the DPS of those Marines are really, really high. But oh, nice those corrosive biles that goes on top of those Marines, and that Marine ball just shrinks in the blink of an eye.
Oh, Snoopy, I think I need to go. I need to go take a shower or something. I mean, that was just dirty as all get out. INnoVation stimming into the biles. Gonna try and pick up that Banshee. Banshee still does not really have a natural answer here. The Queen's still pulled back to help deal with the cleaning up the drop here. That is still running rampant in the natural here. 5 workers going down as a part of that. But the creep is slowly recessing backwards. INnoVation just being very, very patient here with his tanks as the Marines try to swing around to the top right side here. More Lings incoming. It's going to be a lurker den on the way as well. I mean, against this much tank in the army composition, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But Viper's already out on the field. Hive already completed. Those Oh, those medevacs are so dangerously low. If they just walk by a queen, they're gonna get picked off, Snoopy.
Yeah, those parasitic bomb doing work on those medevacs. I think the medevacs will finally get cleaned up, at least the majority of them. But there's still that army here on the left for INnoVations, inching closer and closer to that south face hatchery there.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's more and more tank bio on the way here for INnoVation, but INnoVation slowly starting to work this forward here. A big unsiege of most of his tanks. He's going to try and reposition here up to the choke at this ramp, and this is actually not a bad position, but he's going to have to get sieged and deal with the Vipers. Some blinding clouds go down on good chunks of the tank forces here, but it doesn't have a whole lot to deal with that bio that pushes forward. Mostly Ravager is not going to be enough to deal with Marauder and Marine as everything continues to slowly move forward for INnoVation. Dark keeps getting pushed further and further back into his base. Lurkers are not onto the field just yet. In fact, I don't even know if there are any Hydras. There are not. So Lurker not even a tech path at this point.
yeah, Dark is just mainly relying on lane Banelings and Ravagers. A few Vipers here, but they're still consuming energy, and there's just too much on the ground for INnoVation. INnoVation will take this game number 4. Oh, wait, number 4, right? Oh, no, yeah, number 4.
Yeah. Yeah, evening back up here. I feel like Dark had full control of that game until just like the last minute, and unfortunately kind of teetered off at the end. Lurkers wasn't quite the tech path I think Dark intended to go into. I think he felt really nervous and pressured by all the drops, wanted to try and have something to deal with that massive bio presence. But the 14 tanks that he had was just going to be too much to deal with. And INnoVation evens it back up in our series, so we are now tied at 2-2. This is a best of 9, so we are nowhere near completion at this point. Evening up the series actually just brings this into a best of 5. So at least we have another 3 games to look forward to, Snoopy.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, 2-2. When it gets to this stage where it's just tied after the 4th game, it's a series. We definitely have ourselves a series. They're going back and forth. Of course, Dark, I think he had a really nice kind of position there with the big aggressive attack, killing about 16 or 19 SCVs in the beginning. But INnoVation, he did manage to save his third base, so he was able to kind of macro back up and slowly but surely make his way back into the game. And then also with some really nice drops, because he was kind of pulling Dark left and right, left and right. But yeah, got to give it to INnoVation. He did a really nice job coming back into that game.
Gonna take this moment to talk about our Matcherino page once again. Exclamation point Matcherino in the chat. In fact, I think I see Nightbot has already posted that link to give you access to our Matcherino page. All of our Matcherinos help cover these tournaments on top of our sponsors that graciously help us fund these types of events. And it's so important that the community continues to get involved here in 2020, whether it's by consuming the StarCraft 2 content, helping contribute to it. And Matcherino is such a great partner to allow all of our community members to get actively involved in helping fund and provide more content for StarCraft 2 in 2020. We're so excited 10 years in, and we're still able to set such a great precedent in this field. Now, for this event, all of our Matcherino codes have already been used, so thank you so much if you helped contribute to that. If you want to go a step further, you still can. You can always contribute in on top of what those codes do, so any amount is a great amount to give if you're interested in that. But if you are looking for something specific, you can always kick in $3 for the replay pack. So any of these games that you see here played today will be available to you after this series at the low price of $3. So if you'd like to do that, click exclamation point Matcherino in the chat. That will take you out to there. Our wonderful administrator, Sushi, will make sure that you get set and squared away with everything that you need. We're so thrilled to be able to put on events like these, and it all stems from your support. So thank you so much for supporting Alpha X and all that we do here in the StarCraft 2 scene, as we are jumping into game number 5. This is going to be on Golden Wall. Oh, a little bit of familiarity brought back to us in this series. Spawning in the bottom left of Golden Wall our blue Terran player playing for KaiZ Gaming. Give it up for INnoVation.
And here, spawning at the right side of the map, is the red Zerg player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Is your lovely Zerg. It is Dark.
Now, Snoopy, I have a horror story to tell you.
Oh,
I have a
what's,
horror story to tell you. Once upon a time, there was a Zerg player. The first game he played, he went macro, and he paid for it. So in the following games, he's like, okay, I'm going to set myself up pool first and be ready for any incoming pressure. And then no pressure came for game 2, 3, and 4. Game 5, this player goes, you know what? I can go at macro again. And what happens, Snoopy? He pays for it. It's a double proxy racks across the map once again, but Dark this time is a little bit more prepared, has the drones out to do the little Benny Hill chase scene here as they just kind of chase each other. Oh, isn't that cute? Look at them healing each other. That was adorable.
Looks like Dark will finally retreat back home. Okay, he does have 8 links on the production. But there is a bunker going to go down. Now, let's see if he pulls the rest of his drone line. It's going to be quite close. Now, this is going to be pretty much the same as game number 1, but this time around, there is no bunker near the rocks area. There's actually no rocks in this map, so those couldn't get surrounded pretty easily. And here we go. Looks like Dark is going to go ahead and jump on top of these Marines.
Yeah, and I like this positioning a lot better for Dark. Dark was able to get more damage done. But some very, very good stutter step micro here by INnoVation. Actually cleans up the full surround, and both bunkers are allowed to finish. Oh, if you're Dark, Dark's just gotta be screaming right now.
Yeah, not letting not only one but both bunkers go up. That's a pretty much a dead second base hatchery there. I'm not sure if it's wise of Dark to kind of commit to this defense. He might as well just kind of transition, but even as a look at his main base, there's no gas, so he can't really even transition out of this.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very difficult. I liked Dark's position. I thought he did a lot better job of trying to mitigate the damage, but just still was not enough. And INnoVation behind this is already transitioning. He's already got the factory down. The starport is on the way. And Dark's just not able to even deal with this. That spine crawler is so dangerously low. The entire pole here, lots more lings this time. I mean, this is a better engagement for Dark. INnoVation is going to have to fall back. Oh my gosh, some very, very clutch transfuses onto that spine crawler. And Dark is able to push this back and away. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about all of this. I mean, INnoVation has his push immediately stunted, but I think behind this, he's got a pretty decent start going already.
Yeah, he's up about, I guess, 9 or so workers. Plus, look at the units lost tab. I mean, look at there. Dark losing over 1,000k minerals worth of units, while INnoVation only lost 600 or so. So definitely a better trade for our Terran player.
Oh no, I don't like it.
Oh, no.
I don't like it at all. As a Zerg player, I'm screaming. 2 Hellions will kill almost infinity Zerglings, especially slow Zerglings, and speed is not on the way. I mean, behind this, Dark just does not have any tech incoming. He has no speed on the way. He has no Roach Warren. He's just trying to hang on for dear life at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I bet Dark wanted some acceleration zones here to speed up his wings. That would have helped.
That would have made a big difference for sure. INnoVation getting all of the tech that he could ever want. He's going to go into Cloak Banshee behind this. He's already dropping his 3rd command center. He knows he's so far ahead in this game number 5. Again, Dark just trying to claw on for dear life.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it is INnoVation's game to lose. He's basically kind of playing with his food right now. He's got his dirt base running up before the Zerg. Whenever a Terran got a dirt base before the Zerg, you know you're in trouble as a Zerg, right? It's like really, really hard to crawl yourself back. I mean, unless you have like fast muleless tech on the way already, that's happening. You can possibly gain some advantages to make use of that slower third base hatchery, but In this case, in this game, nope, there is no lair even for the Zerg, and INnoVation is sitting happy and safe.
Yeah, and only just now does Dark have enough gas to even take Ling speed. All of that was done off of a gasless opening. His third base finally going down. He will have what he needs to deal with the incoming Cloak Banshee, but once again, he has to juggle so much here to try and stay in this game for game number 5, because it's going to be a giant push here up at the third base where there actually isn't enough to deal with that Cloak Banshee. Spore Crawlers will be available at some point. In fact, actually, there's no... Okay, he's just now dropped a Spore Crawler in his main. Oh, Dark's so thrown off to here in game number 5. I mean, this could happen to literally anyone, and INnoVation's going to engage on top. I mean, this is Dark in survival mode at this point.
Yeah, there's really no saving that third base. It does get does it get canceled? I'm not sure.
Yes, it did.
Okay, cool. So at least he replenished some of the minerals, but I mean, canceled third. The Terran's got the third already up. There is let's just say Dark is in a really dark place.
Oh, I see what you did there. As a fan of dad jokes and puns, like, very well played. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I'm trying to struggle with where Dark goes here. I mean, he's got his lair up. He has Overseers now incoming to help deal with the Banshees. So I don't think that's a big issue here, but it's going to be that lack of an economy here. He's going to try and two-base Muta his opponent, but INnoVation's just going to have so much more production. And now the Banshees show themselves here. The Queens are going to be able to help push this off. But again, it's more lost mining time on top of an already just brutal and battered economy.
Yeah, I mean, when you say Zerg losing 5 drones in like the 8-minute mark, usually it's not a big deal. But in this case, where every drone really matters at this point for Dark, it does make a big difference. Now, I do see INnoVation is moving out with his army here, which is really scary because he's up 56 army supply to 22. He's more than double the army supply of Dark. So Dark here is looking to be gonna have to rely on really miraculous Baneling hits in order to survive.
And the Banelings are only now just morphing in here. I don't think he has any other Banelings. Yeah, he's got 13 on the way, but he needed them 30 seconds ago. INnoVation's going to be able to siege up here on the low ground with the one tank that he has. And surprisingly enough, I mean, this tank might just be enough. Oh, INnoVation does leave it alone, so that tank will get picked off here. So, some rather good surround here by Dark. INnoVation. Did he just throw that engagement? Like, wow, that was a really bad engagement.
Yeah, he didn't really split, I don't think. So that kind of gave the Banelings a lot of splash damage. But I mean, INnoVation, he's got more army. Look at that. He's still got a bunch more army coming across the map. In this moment, he's going to go ahead and have to creep a bit so that the Banelings are a little bit slower during the engagement. But 5 Mulists on the way for Dark. Let's see if it can get some damage across the map. There are already turrets I see in each of the bases. So, or actually, the dirt base doesn't have a turret, so he might get some damage there. But I mean, what is he going to be possibly be able to stop? I mean, how is he going to be able to stop this big push here for INnoVation?
Well, I mean, if INnoVation wants to queue up and sit and not babysit his siege and just kind of let himself fall to Banelings, I mean, that'll be great for Dark. Dark will just say, yeah, just keep feeding me more and more of your units. But I don't think INnoVation's going to do that a second time. Dark does have he does have a 4th base going down here, and I don't think INnoVation is quite aware of it. Yeah, he hasn't quite seen that yet. Now seeing the Mutalisk, Mutalisk engaging against Marines, never a good situation. Yeah, I don't think that INnoVation's going to let that happen once again. He's going to be able to pick off this 3rd base. Workers do get pulled down to the bottom side. But I mean, this is kind of a do or die moment for Dark. INnoVation now spiraling so far in advance. The Mutalisk really didn't get any major damage done. They're going to try and come and help engage against the army here. But yeah, INnoVation way more prepared this time. Has a Marine sitting on top of the tanks. The Marines stemmed forward. dealing more and more damage. There's going to be another drop coming on the bottom side. I think INnoVation just wanted to give Dark that brief moment of like, well, hey, I am still in it. I'm going to fight as hard as I can. And INnoVation's like, no, actually, you're dead. You were dead about 7 minutes ago.
Well, it's definitely honorable to see how Dark is trying to fight back, but yeah, there's a lot here for INnoVation. He's even getting his 4th base here at the top side, but yeah, he's got the siege tank on the low ground. I'm not sure what Dark can do. He does have a lot of lanes and I guess some few banelings, so maybe he can. Yeah, actually, yeah, he should be able to clean this up. But there's still that army at the top that's coming there to the natural.
Yeah. Oh, and that baneling that's being exposed here. Dark cannot afford to lose that. And that is all. GG is called, and INnoVation taking game number 5 in another convincing fashion. Snoopy, I have to say the thing again. I have to say it again. Are you prepared? 2 racks, 3 racks is so good in tournament play. I never see it lose.
Exactly. I mean, the first game should have told you with all the indication that you needed.
Oh, and Dark trying to be an honorable player is like, okay. I'll play a macro game. Golden Wall, big map. We can spread this one out. Let's take it 30 minutes, INnoVation. Let's go for it. And it was like, excuse me. I want to win. And he just proxy racks us once again. So I imagine, my guess is that Dark's probably not going to be caught macroing the remainder of this series. And if he does, I think he's only got himself to blame at this point, as we are on to only new maps here for game 6 and 7. We're going to be going to Ice and Chrome. Now, I really love the aquatic maps. I love the winter maps. I love Frozen Tundra is a very fun map. Of course, everybody who's ever played StarCraft remembers Frost LE. And we've got a new winter map in terms of Ice and Chrome. So this could be an interesting map as well.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of the bird's eye view of it, it looks pretty good. Especially, it looks really bright as well. So that should be good for, I guess, like casters and observers.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest changes going into this new map pool, where last season we saw a lot of dark maps and maps with a lot more dark themed. We're turning around in season 2 of 2020, and we're getting a lot of light colored maps. So the brightness of shoot, I'm trying to think of the name of Submarine. Ice and Chrome is another bright map. Golden Wall is still a bright map. We do still have some darkness in terms of Death Aura and Everdream, but I like it. I like a little bit of the contrast. And just let me say really quick here, 731 viewers in this game chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. We are only into game number 6, so if you have people that you know that want to see this game, please get them over here. Twitch.tv/AlphaXSC2. We are so glad that you guys could join us today. If you want to check out the bracket, exclamation point bracket or exclamation point B in the chat will give you access to that information. But do check out that Matcherino, exclamation point Matcherino in the chat. Lots of resources there for you if you want to check those out. And we are on to yet another new map. Ice and Chrome, spawning in the bottom left. Our red Zerg player down 2-3. Wants to try and even this back up again in this best of 9 series, playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Make some noise for Dark.
And here, spawning at the top right corner of the map, is the blue Terran player from Kaizi Gaming, proving that 2 racks is the meta of these days. It is INnoVation.
He's doing it again. Dark, why? Why, Dark? Can we get an F in the chat, please? Just, Dark, why? Why would you do this? You know that your opponent wants to, he wants to be cheesy, and I actually love this 2 racks location because it's so difficult for him to engage. Like right here. Like, if those drones don't go the long way around, now they are just completely put together here. So, I I don't know, Snoopy. Tell me something good here.
Well, the good thing is that Dark did scout that pretty relatively early, but
He snags it.
like you said, this is a really great proxy area. It's really hard to get this around because it's kind of blocked off. You need to send the drones across over around to the other side. So yeah, it looks like INnoVation is going to have a nice jump start here. Uh,
Okay,
let's
so
see if he.
oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, here's the good news I'm looking for. One of the SCVs actually does get picked off, and the second SCV dangerously low. INnoVation has to pull another SCV from his base, so that is a little less mining that he has access to. And he's gonna take the weak SCV up to the front. Literally one queen shot. One queen shot stops the building of that bunker. So this is the good news that Dark is looking for. Dark is evolving. He is engaging this just a little bit better, and actually just going to try and take those lanes. Yep, and that's all it takes. So now one SCV is all that stands between INnoVation and a good engagement here against Dark. And the Spine Crawler is going to be able to push forward here. Oh, he snags it right at 99%. Oh no! This is a much better engagement for Dark here. INnoVation has nowhere to go. He's never going to finish that bunker. And I think Dark's done it. He's held it. Oh, he's held it, chat. He's held it, Snoopy.
Yes, finally, after all these years, or at least what seemingly felt like years, but it's a really great start for Dark. At the very least, he does survive with minimal amounts of losses, right? He's only lost 3 workers, which is not too bad.
Chat, you know, I have to apologize. I got all of you excited. F's in the chat, but your F's, they did it! They gave Dark the energy to not fall to the 2 racks. We've seen it. Well, okay, so does it count? Does the meme still count if INnoVation wins, but he wins off of a macro game?
Oh, that... you know what? I'm just going to say yes, because the point is to survive. The point is that he held, which he did. So I'm just going to give him that point to Dark.
That's fair. That's fair. Definitely the chat getting involved. Very, very passionate. Yes, yes, Rushy. Yes, it does count. We have to be able to meme and say that 2 racks and 3 racks, just it never loses. We have to be able to keep the meme alive. But Dark gonna do everything in his power to try and upend the meme and upend the destiny here. But INnoVation is already pivoting here. He is tossing down a very, very third CC. I don't know how I feel about that in this game where INnoVation hasn't gotten the damage done that he has in game number 1 and game number 5.
Well, the good thing is that, you know, there's not much information, scouting information. There's no overlord to scout the fusion core. So if he can catch Dark with a surprise BC, he might be able to kind of catch you know, do a lot of economic damage, kill a lot of drones. And this map, as you look at it, is pretty good for battle cruisers. There's a lot of dead space area, right, in the main base, as well as between the natural and the third. So I definitely like this transition into battle cruisers.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad position for INnoVation to try and go into, but it comes off of the back of a lot of queens on the part of Dark. I guess there are only 5, so it's not as many as it could be. And I don't think Dark has the scouting information that he needs at this point. In fact, I did Dark's vision, and all of a sudden I got some Korean voice pack yelling at me, but it's all fine. I just got nervous for a moment. It is actually going to be dedicated battle cruiser aggression. Yamato cannon coming out as well. Dark's going to try and get across the map here with some roaches, and the roaches are going to be able to get up into the natural. Not for very long though. Bunker's going to be able to fill with Marines. Oh, maybe. Oh, okay. I mean, he's going to try and delay that bunker as much as possible here. It's going to force the battlecruiser to stay on INnoVation's side of the map for just a little while longer, and that's going to help Dark out immediately. 3 spore crawlers going down in all 3 bases. More queen production on the way. That was actually a really good read by Dark to send those roaches out across.
Yeah, wasn't able to get too much damage done, but was able to at least scout the battlecruisers as well as deny the bunker. I mean, this game has been a game of denied bunkers. I swear. I mean, there's no bunker that's gonna go up in this game. I'm gonna bet on it. But anyhow, we do see that. You see, well, where's the that cruiser? Did it
Battle
teleport?
cruisers at the top of the third.
Ah, okay, yeah, it did teleport there. But damn, that's a lot of queens there. There's a total of, let's see, a total of 8 queens here out in the map.
Yeah, and that battle cruiser is going to be able to jump away. That scout was so important. INnoVation, actually, I thought he was just going to fly across the map at that point. The battle cruiser was sitting about halfway in between the bases, and I mean, Ice and Chrome is a rather large map, but I think the value in having that tactical jump still available when you hit dark side of the map is that he can then leap away when danger strikes, so he can dive in a little bit deeper, get a few more drones. But behind this, I mean, Dark's already got a Spire down. His 1-1 for Roaches is on the way. So he's going to be able to have access to Corruptors to help jump on top of these battle cruisers. And battle cruisers are continuing to come out. Now, I don't think INnoVation has shown the fact that he has Yamato Cannon. So that is a piece of information that Dark isn't quite working with. But after seeing the second battle cruiser come across, that should give Dark some indication. And actually, there goes a Yamato Cannon. So now Dark knows that he can safely build those Corruptors. He's going to be playing against multiple battle cruisers throughout the portion of this game.
Yeah, that's actually great intel for Dark, because if you see a Terran committing to Yamato Cannon, that means he's probably committed to continuing the production of those battle cruisers. So that kind of tells him, okay, I need to produce a bit more Corruptors than usual, because I could expect more battle cruisers to come. If you don't really see Yamato Cannon, if you only see like maybe 1-2 BC, you're like, okay, I could make maybe like, you know, like 6-9 Corruptors and be safe, and I could stop there, invest my resources into other tech. But knowing that, you know, there is continuous battle cruisers production, it's going to go ahead and probably start continuously making those Corruptors. Maybe even getting the Corruptor attack upgrade. But anyhow, we do see that both players has finally started to just stabilize, macro up, and high tech coming out here for Dark.
Now, it does look like INnoVation is going to continue committing into that ground mech army as well, slowly transitioning into some tank production. He does have a couple of Thors on the field to help deal with those Corruptors that are naturally going to be produced to push off those battle cruisers. So Thor's going to be able to provide a lot of anchor to that slow-moving army that is coming across the map here. Dark managing to take fifth base behind all of this. His economy is in actually pretty good shape, 78 to 71 workers. His army count isn't too shabby either. INnoVation going to move across the map with the battle cruisers. Oh, he's actually going to lose one of the battle cruisers. He got a little bit too bold. One Corruptor for one battle cruiser, that's not a trade INnoVation wants to take at any point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we do see, you know, games where the Terran player, they get an optimal amount of BCs, and it gets really, really hard to stop. But it looks like actually INnoVation has stopped creating any more BCs. He's recognized that Dark has gone for early Corruptor tech, so he's going to go ahead and just transition to full-on mech here with the Hellions, tanks, and Thors, and just going to go rely on that. Now, the Blue Flame Hellion upgrade is finally going to finish here, so he should be able to at least get a bit more damage firepower from those Hellions. But the thing is, I'm a bit worried about the kind of the upgrades of INnoVation. It's a bit further behind of Dark. I mean, if you look at Dark's upgrades, he's got +1 melee, he's got +2 range, and as well as +1 armor. So he's speeding ahead in terms of the upgrades. But there we go. Looks like the Ultralisk then being placed down and will complete. So we're going to see Ultralisk out in the map very soon.
Okay, so I have to admit, well, okay, we might have an engagement here we need to talk about. Dark has a pretty good position here. He is already supply maxed as well. But King Chip in the chat teaching me a little bit something new about Terran here. I did not fully know that there was an indicator for when Yamato Cannon is fully researched on BCs, and today I learned that glowing center is the indicator for that. So very, very
Ah,
cool stuff. We can always learn something new here, chat. Even the most seasoned StarCraft 2 veterans have a lot to learn. A nice engagement here with Roach and Ling on top of the battle mech portion of this army. Lots of that does go down, and Dark able to just completely remax behind that with 48 more Lings. Yes, I am having a little bit of frame drop issue. There's a lot of stuff on the map here, so thanks so much for being patient, chat. It is not your internet. It is just my budget PC working its little tail off here. As a second battle cruiser is going to go down, INnoVation, he does not want to keep trying to trade one battle cruiser for one corruptor. It's just not worth it.
yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world because I don't think INnoVation was committing to the BCs, but definitely want to have as much BCs during the engagement. But here we go. Looks like the Roaches and Lynx catch these Hellions and Cyclones out in the map, which is really unfortunate because usually you have to force a Zerg to make infestors to fungal those kiting units. But if you can get it, you can on top of them without any fungal. That's always a win and a plus for the Zerg.
Yeah, so at this point, chat, you can see that snow, and the snow is causing that extra frame issue on my end. So thank you for being patient. We do appreciate that. Hopefully that does not drastically negatively impact your game here. As a Nidus network does get dropped into the main base, lots of Zerglings get spewed on in, and that does pull a good chunk of the battle mech back towards the backside of the main, and that is going to be very difficult to deal with. Dark actually trying to morph in some Banelings as well, being really cheeky here. But I'm surprised that Dark is not going to try and engage onto that 4th or 5th base location here. But INnoVation does have a really nice siege here, some very good walls, some good tank placements, and Dark managing to at least drop a little bit of creep and create a little bit of distraction here for INnoVation.
Yeah, actually, as I look at this map, this is really a great map for mech. There's a lot of areas that the siege tanks can abuse. Now, this one of the things about this map is that there's the watchtower. I would love to see Dark get it because he really wants to engage the mech army while the tank are on siege or not with the main army. And it looks like he just. Oh, I thought he was gonna. Okay, there we go. He's gonna turn back, get on top of this mech army without these tanks. The tanks are actually back at home. And a nice bailing connection on the front lines, and all the doors goes down, which is huge.
Yeah, some very, very nice blinding clouds by those Vipers. As a good chunk of the battle mech on the top side here are going to engage on the 6th base location on the top side. Zerglings might not be enough here. The Servos upgrade is already taken care of for these Hellbats, so Hellbats able to transform in record time. Broodlords are on the way. They're gonna get spotted. They're gonna get spotted by those Cyclones. Those don't have a whole lot of protection here. Oh, they're gonna morph just in time. They're gonna clean up the Cyclones, but it is gonna be almost an even trade for all the Broodlords.
Yeah, but looks like it doesn't matter because Dark is actually transitioning into Ultralisk instead. He recognizes that all the doors are pretty much gone. These Ultralisk should be able to snipe away at those Hellions and Cyclones. But man, Dark is looking to be in a pretty great position as he pretty much has his whole side of the map covered in creep. He does lose the Broodlords, but kind of trades out. He does have resources to remax, and he's already pretty much almost at 200 supply.
Well, this is going to be a really, really big Ling run by into a planetary fortress, and those usually don't trade very well, but he does get a nice surround here, trying to box out all of those SCVs. SCVs go down in large droves. He might be able to grab that. He absolutely does. So that planetary fortress goes down to just Ling. 17 workers also going down as well, and Dark going to drop yet another Nidus on top of INnoVation, trying to pull INnoVation as far apart as possible while buying more and more time for the Ultralisk to be brought into the game.
Oh man, Dark keeping up the pressure, doing a Nidus in the main with Ultralisk in there. Oh man, look at that Ultralisk skin. That's pretty sick. But anyhow, INnoVation, he's got his main base is pretty much on lockdown. Okay, he does finally cleans up the Niduses, but there's a big engagement here at the left side of the map. But so much Roaches, so much Ultralisk left, even Vipers as well to join in the fight. And I just don't see INnoVation being able to do anything on Dark side of the map.
Yeah, INnoVation's actually not been able to completely clean up the Nidus Swarm here. As soon as one went down, the next one came onto the field. And with so much Ling coverage here for these Ultras, the Ultras are able to get so much good damage done. A couple of Banelings actually get into the main base here. They're going to try and deal as much damage as possible, trying to get on top of those very vulnerable Cyclones, but able to dodge out of the way in just the last second. And I think Dark is going to try and dive a lot of his army into here. He's going to sack a whole lot of supply here over this. I think he's overcommitted a little bit. I think he tried to get on top of all of the production of INnoVation, but it just was not enough. And Dark finding himself on a bit of a supply disadvantage.
Yeah, I think he might have to be a bit more careful because he did have a bank before that attack. Now the bank has been completely depleted. So if Dark goes for another butchered attack, it might get a bit scary, and INnoVation might be able to overtake Dark at that point. Because he, if you look at INnoVation side, he does have a lot of expansions, and his army supply is actually higher currently than Dark's.
Yeah, our good friend Todd would be telling us, look at the supply! And and that army supply difference is probably the biggest to tell here. Not only does INnoVation have that advantage, it actually tosses a little bit away of the battle mech here to the Ling, Roach, and Ultra, but Dark's army is just a little less technical. Lots of Zerglings still in this fray, so he's just playing on categorically less at this point. And the battle mech still continuing to be a good choice, but it's going to be Lurkers on the back end of this for Dark, and Lurkers will have a better time at least being able to hold down attack points for Dark. If he can get positioned well here, but INnoVation is just all over the map with his battle mech and his mines.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this transition though. I mean, should be able to at least deflect the Cyclone here, the Cyclone group at the top here. But I'm not sure about this constant transition. I mean, remember he went for Broodlords and then he went for Ultras and now he's going for Lurkers. I mean, it's just like his tech tree is all over the place. But you know what? At least Dark does save the base here at the top. But these Cyclones and Hellions so mobile on this huge map especially, so should be able to kind of walk around here and there. Actually got his another group of Cyclones and Hellions at the right side, actually going to join it, and he's going to go ahead and focus on this bottom base. Oh boy.
Some good Baneling connections do help out with that, but the Lurkers are completely out of position. They do now show up and get a pretty decent engagement. All of those Hive Tech upgrades are already completed for Dark, but this is where INnoVation is going to be able to shine here. Ooh, a couple of Lurkers do sneak into the backside of this base. INnoVation is going to have to burn a scan if he wants to kill off those Lurkers, and I think at this point in the game, every scan is precious. He knows that there are Lurkers out. He needs to be able to scan ahead just in case he tries to engage on top of a Lurker bomb waiting to happen. But I mean, he still does need to try and keep a good worker count supply at this point in the game. I mean, we're entering the 20-minute mark. It's not uncommon for Terran players to say, all right, I have 1 million orbital commands. I can toss away some workers in the event that I want to get more army supply. At this point, INnoVation not committing into that, 92 to 76, so still maintaining a really strong worker count on top of being able to pick off more and more bases. But he's already got the counter that he needs for those Lurkers. Liberator's already out on the map. INnoVation trying to take more and more map space here. I just don't know. I don't know if I like Dark's position in this game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? To be honest, I think INnoVation can just throw a bunch of SCVs at this stage. He's almost at 100. He's actually at 99. And if he can just free up some supply for some bit more army. I mean, the army is pretty even in terms of the supply. So if you can throw away some SCVs, throw down some extra orbitals, you can go ahead and increase his army brute force. But oh man, those Lurkers just completely destroys those Cyclones, and so quickly. Those are some really heavy-duty Lurkers there with the +3/3 upgrades. But yeah, it looks like the game has finally stabilized. The past few minutes has a lot of action going on, back and forth, back and forth.
Well, and you talked about all the constant tech switching in this game, and now I feel like we've kind of settled in to a pretty, I'd say a mid-game composition here. Hydra Lurker against Liberator and Battle Mech. I mean, we expect to see this kind of play at like the 10 to 12 minute mark, not the 22-minute mark. So very, very interesting kind of playstyle that we're kind of settling into here. And this base is going to be under fire once again. All of these workers are going to probably be cleaned. Oh, I guess he's not going to target those workers. Where is he at? Oh, he's paying attention down here on the lower right-hand side. Some very good pulls from the Vipers, making those Liberators very vulnerable, and that frees up a lot of opportunity for those Lurkers. The Lurkers able to pick off the Planetary Fortress here, and base trade for base trade here. These players are just throwing jabs as quickly as they can get them.
Yeah, but again, that does actually free up some supply. 14 SCVs going down, which is actually a good thing for INnoVation. You should be able to make some additional army to defend against it. The tank should push this away, or at least kind of hold them back for the meantime. Looks like INnoVation is going to go for a counterattack while this is going on, but he might actually get sandwiched. The link's coming from the bottom side. The Hydra is going on the top side. Yeah, this might actually go into a sandwich. Okay, he just barely should be able to eke out of there safely.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got the recess on the right hand side to disappear to, but now he doesn't. He's pulled too far to the left, and all of this battle mech is going to get surrounded. But look at the supply, 173 to 136. I mean, INnoVation sitting on a 3K mineral bank. He can make so many Hellions. Those Hellions will just continue to tear through the Hydra Ling composition of the army. Infinite Vipers with infinite blinding clouds won't be able to hold this back off, and Dark is just running on fumes here.
Yeah, I mean, he's still sticking on the kind of the tier 2 units. He doesn't really have any tier 3 units out in the field, I don't think. No Vipers, no Broodlords, not even any Ultralists. And looks like Dark has been pushed, and he's now on the back foot.
Oh, and this is, I think this is going to be one of the final pushes here for INnoVation. I think he's going to get so much damage done. A couple of Lurkers on the backside will be able to engage with good chunks of the army. Lings come in for a nice little surround, but the Hellions are just placed so well. Hellbat's able to get on top of all of those Lings, and GG is called. INnoVation taking game number 6. That was a long one. We fought that one out, but he moves himself to match point. Snoopy.
Yeah.
Snoopy, do you know what I want to say?
What do you want to say, Rushi?
2 racks and 3 racks is so okay. I can just I don't need to do it. I think we are set to go. Thanks so much for being patient, chat. The frame rate is not so much an issue with the game or my settings on OBS. It has everything to do with those snow particles because they were like crazy. So I'm hopeful that game number 7 here is going to be settled into place. I'm so glad that you all were so patient. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I hope that we don't run into that issue. But Snoopy, we're sitting on match point here. INnoVation has one more game to win, and he walks away the victor of this Into the Alpha X Super Series.
Yeah, he is 2 racks build away from winning the 5th game. I swear, if he makes that double racks proxy this upcoming game, he should be winning 5-2. At least that's the that's the idea as the series has gone on. I mean, every time INnoVation has pulled out that build, he has yet to lose. So, oh, actually, you know what he did? Wait, did he? No, he didn't. He didn't lose, right? With that build. Yeah, so far?
Nope, I don't think he has.
Yeah, so yeah, if I was INnoVation, if I was in his shoes, that is the build I'm gonna go for this upcoming game.
All right, we are going to our final map of the new pool. It's gonna be Pillars of Gold. That's going to be the end of our unique maps. If we do go to a game number 8 or 9, all of the maps will be available once again, and we might see some repeats here. But I do want to take an opportunity to shout out one of our amazing sponsors as well in G Fuel. These events do not happen without the sponsorship of our corporate sponsors, and G Fuel is one of those here in the month of June. G Fuel, the drink of esports. If you aren't drinking G Fuel, stop. It's whatever you're drinking, not worth drinking if it's not G Fuel. G Fuel ramps up your energy from 0 to 100 real quick. It sharpens your focus so you can keep your eye on the prize. Increases your endurance because, as we all know, gaming is a marathon, not a sprint. And lastly, G Fuel hydrates you so that you only thirst for victory. G Fuel, the official drink of esports. We are so glad that they help us provide such great content here at InnoVation. So thank you so much. If you have an opportunity, please do support them. Of course, we are always so thrilled with Matcherino and everything that they bring to the table and helping us get our players paid and giving you an opportunity to contribute directly into these prize pools and creating more opportunities for the future. So, exclamation point Matcherino in the chat. Take that opportunity. We want to make sure that we continue working so diligently with these sponsors to help keep esports alive in 2020 and beyond. As we jump in to map number 7. Map number 7. This is match point for INnoVation. If INnoVation can claim this victory, he will be the Into the InnoVation Super Series champion for today. And he spawns in the top right-hand corner, Pillar Gold, playing for KaiZ Gaming. Give it up for INnoVation.
And here at the bottom left, we have the red Zerg player from Dragon Kings Gaming, looking to do the reverse kill. Can he do it? It is Dark. All right, Rushi, I have a big important question here.
Yes.
So, this map, is there any gold, actual gold, to be found?
Are you telling me that we have a map called Pillars of Gold and there are no gold bases? Blizzard! I can't believe it. I feel like I think I've been debated. I was expecting actually every map or every base to be a gold base. How bonkers would that be?
Oh yeah, that would be crazy. That would be nuts.
Oh, that would just be somebody saying literally unplayable. Yeah, I think this map needs to be reported for misleading information. Like, I don't know.
I know, right?
So now,
okay.
INnoVation has not 2-raxed. He wants the honorable win here, Snoopy. He doesn't want to just win off of a cheesy build. But I think every single game that INnoVation has won in this series, every single one, Snoopy, has been off of a 2-rax.
Yeah. Which I guess that means Dark is going to win this game, right?
I'm willing to put that up as a possibility. Although, hold on a second. Because I think game number 4, INnoVation won off of a normal map. Or he won off of a different timing build. Because it was game number 4, that was on Death Aura with the acceleration zones, and he won off of that failed push of Dark, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So okay. So
we'll
put that aside.
At the very least, because there is no 2-rax build, Dark's chances of winning has gone up 50%. So I think he will take his chances there. But looks like Dark, he's himself going for a stand-in macro game himself as well. So looks like both players are not going to try anything too cheesy or too aggressive. And INnoVation going for the same fast Dark base there.
Yeah, and this is actually just kind of a really interesting map here. I kind of like the desert theme. I don't know in my time as a StarCraft 2 player that I've seen a whole lot of desert-themed maps, which I really enjoy. I mean, can we please give a quick shout out to all of the amazing map creators that not only work for Blizzard but participate in the map custom map contests. I think like we have so many unsung heroes that are helping make the StarCraft 2 scene that much more robust and interesting. So definitely like big props to them. We're so grateful for all that they do. But this is just kind of a really interesting map here. It's got that third sitting out in front. It is protected by that breakable wall. The third base, the natural third base location that Dark has actually taken, does have quite a few siege points here. I mean, tanks can kind of get onto the high ground on that location and be able to siege down into the main base. I, but it does have a really quick rush distance here for both players. So it's kind of interesting, right? That we see these two players going into more of a normal game.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see at least cloak being researched for innovation. Now, the last time around, I believe he threw down a fusion core. Went for the Banshee, not for the Banshee stuff, for the Battle Cruiser instead. This time around, he's going back to the Banshee with the cloak. Let's see how much damage he can do. There's not quite as much dead airspace behind that third base of the Zerg, so he's gonna have to be careful not to dive in back and forth between the natural and the third, because those queens can snipe off and pick off those Banshees if he's not careful. And here we go. The first Banshee will be making his way onto this third
Oh,
base.
there's no Spore Crawler, though, at the third base. Yeah, Dark immediately has to pull all of his workers off of that. He can't afford to just throw those workers away to the Banshees. Queen's in a good position to help zone their retreat as the Hellions were coming up on the left-hand side here. And with there not being a whole lot at this third base, Dark can let those Hellions dive on in. There's really nothing for them to attack. An Overseer being present now should be able to re-drone that third base location. Eventually, I think he's going to wait for that Spire to finish up before he pulls all of those back. And actually, there they go right now. So, pretty decent hold here by Dark. INnoVation really not losing anything off of that, putting some good pressure down. Yeah, I think it just moves us into a good portion. We're going to see a bio play here. It's been a hot minute since we've seen INnoVation in this series go with bio. Dropping 1-1 here. Is getting combat shields. I think he's already got stim pack on the he's already got stim pack. He's not even on the way. He's already got it. So INnoVation going to kind of go back to his roots here.
Yeah, now there are a few millers that are popping out here. So INnoVation will definitely have to start making some turrets in the base pretty soon, or else these mules are gonna ravage his economy line, his mineral line. It looks like the Milas are making. Actually, no, it's actually staying back at home there. Okay, now he does move out with the Milas. No turrets up yet.
Oh, but these couple of Banshees are wreaking havoc in the main base of Dark. 6 workers do get picked off, and those Banshees are going to be allowed to fly away. We're going to have to see what the Mutalisk can get done on INnoVation's side of the map. As you said, no turrets just yet, and these Mutas are going to fly on in. Oh, they're going to get so much damage done. 6, 7 workers going down almost immediately. The Sim City of INnoVation actually kind of working against him right now, as these Marines are having a difficult time trying to engage on top of the Mutalisk. 10 workers end up going down by the end of it. And there's still more work to be done. 12 get picked off, and most of the Mutas actually fly away for free.
Yeah, and because INnoVation went for that kind of the third base next to the main base, the Mulus actually has a better time, flying back and forth. It's at least a bit more easier compared to if he had the 12 base. So, kind of worked out for Dark. But it looks like INnoVation is looking for a counterattack. Let's see, what does Dark have? He's currently morphing in a bunch of banelings, making a lot of links in the production tab. Okay, does he have banging speed? Okay, he does have banging speed. Okay, so he should be able to roll in a bit better. And here we go. Gonna go ahead and roll your boat gently down the Marines. Will he be able to? Oh man, those split are really good though.
I don't know, Snoopy. I think INnoVation knows he's got it. He's gonna push forward and become the Into the Alpha X Super Series champion today. GG is called. INnoVation, not afraid of no stinking banelings. And INnoVation with a 5-2 victory becomes today's champion in this show match series.
Yeah, and you know what? That map is really close in distance, so INnoVation was able to kind of reach Dark Space rather quickly. It didn't give him enough time to mass up enough units to defend. And I think, yeah, INnoVation just played out really smartly. Even though he didn't prepare for the Mulus, at least he at least mitigated some of the potential damage, and yeah, was able to take that whole series, that whole game. And congrats to INnoVation.
Yeah, very, very well played by both of our players. Big congratulations to INnoVation. You were right, Snoopy. You called it. You called the INnoVation victory. I believe you called it 5-3. So INnoVation actually even coming out and doing just a little bit more to secure himself up there. I want to take an opportunity to plug the Matcherino once again because now those replay packs are officially available. If you would like access to all of these replay packs to study and take a look at what these two players did in this series, you can feel free to click !Matcherino in the chat and get those replay packs purchased for $3. Of course, if you'd like to go above and beyond, you are always welcome to help with the prize pool. These players did outstanding. I mean, this is one of the first times I think Alpha X has been able to secure Dark as a player in one of our events, and we really want to make sure that that happens again. We want to try and tap into all of the top 10 talent in StarCraft 2, so please consider contributing to the prize pool. That's under !Matcherino as well. We really love trying to get as much as we can to these players so that they feel confident to come back and perform once again in a future Alpha X series. So thank you so much for considering that. I believe that's going to be it for us today. Snoopy, any final thoughts here as we get ready to wind down the stream?
No, just thank you for the subscription, Sniper SC. Appreciate it, as well as all the follows. We had a bunch of follows throughout the cast, so thank you to all who followed, as well as all who has contributed to the Matcherino. So, yeah, thank you, and hope you guys enjoy the games.
Snoopy, is there anywhere that we can find you if we want to catch more of your content in the future?
Yeah, you can just find me on Twitch, Snoopy SC2, and yeah, I'll be hopefully streaming in the near future.
Beautiful. And if you would like to catch more of my content, my name is Rushy. You can find me at twitch.tv/RushySC. Doing lots of casts this week. I'll be casting right here tomorrow again, True versus Kiwi, and this is going to be one of True's last official events before he heads off to the military. So very, very exciting opportunity. You can catch that actually right here, twitch.tv/AlphaXSC2. But if you'd like to catch more of my individual content, twitch.tv/RushySC. I'm a Diamond 1 Zerg. We're so close to pushing into Masters for the first time ever. But that's going to do it for us here on our Into the Alpha X Super Series event. We're going to toss you over to Wardy for some more outstanding content in StarCraft 2. He is such a great warrior here with us in the community casting realm, and we're so grateful to everything that he does. So feel free, let him know where you came from, and we hope to see you again in a future Alpha X event. Again, joined by Snoopy, my name is Rushy. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at. We love you. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you again in the future. Take care.
Bye.